It doesn't matter if you're a student, a manager, or a CEO. We all have 24 hours of time each day to spend on the things that contribute to our goal. The key difference is how we manage it. How we use those 24 hours for work, growth, leisure, sleep, and socializing with friends and family. One thing you'll notice about successful people is that they understand the value of finite time. They know that 24 hours is just 24 hours, and so they use that time wisely. People who are in charge of their life are in charge of their time. This means that they manage their time properly and according to their short-term and long-term goals. The key way to look at this is viewing time management as an implement of self-discipline, and self-discipline is the key to success. Now, it's not enough that you become self-aware of how you manage your time. You need to be able to steer yourself in the direction you want to go, and you can only do this with effective time management plans. So, let's get started. What does it take to effectively manage your time? Here are the 5 key ideas you need to remember. The first is defining your goals. It all starts with what you want to accomplish. We're talking about long-term goals here, which should include your personal, family, and material goals. What do you want to accomplish for yourself and your family? What kind of impact do you want to make for yourself, your business, your family, and the people around you? Here's a good question to ask yourself. If you had all the time and money in the world, what would you do? And if you find out you only have 6 more months to live, who would you spend all that time with? Answering these questions gives you a concrete idea of the things that you value. The things that are most important to you are the answers to these questions, because your values need to be in line with your goals. Happiness, self-esteem, and satisfaction are at their peak when your goals correspond with the things you find most important in life. So if you knew you couldn't fail, what would you set as a goal for yourself? Write those thoughts down and make it more concrete. The second thing you should do is have organized plans of action. Failure happens when you act without planning. It's like driving without a map. You're spending time and gas with just a bit of hope that you'll reach your destination. Sure, you might get there without a map, but it will take you longer, because you need to spend more and perhaps even force yourself to make U-turns along the way. An organized plan of action happens when you create a step-by-step list of everything you need to do in order to accomplish your objective. It breaks down your goals into measurable stages, so you have the chance to assess, organize, and prioritize these steps on a day-to-day basis. You decide what needs to be done first, what needs to be done better, or what requires additional learning on your part. In fact, being able to plan, set goals, and work towards them is the master skill for success. Third is you want to make a list. This is where your plans of action become actual actionable goals that can be done on a daily basis. Studies show that writing down a list to set the tone for your day helps guarantee at least 25% more chance of accomplishing everything on that list. Now, most guides will tell you to make your list in the morning, but that's not how you want to approach this. Instead, you want to create your list the night before. Now, why would you want to cap off your day by listing all the things you want to do the next day? Your subconscious is a very powerful tool. It works in the background and helps prepare your mind for what's happening ahead. By writing down your list for the next day, you're giving your subconscious the chance to work on that list while you sleep. At night, your subconscious will put things in perspective, give you insights, and even solve problems for you so that when you wake up the next day, you're ready and raring to work on the list. A list also helps keep you on track. A lot of things can happen during the day, and you can be distracted by a new problem, be collared by friends, or get an invite to an event that takes up a chunk of your time. The list is your physical and consistent reminder of what you've set for yourself during the day. You're anchored by this list, so there's always something that holds you back and makes sure you're on point with what needs to be done. Lists also help you evaluate yourself. What did you accomplish? Where are you going? What needs to be delegated? What needs to be prioritized? A series of successfully completed lists sets you up for meeting short-term goals, which then leads you to the path of success in your long-term goals. Next, you need to know your priorities. Let's say you create a 10-point list, but manage to do only 8 of the items in your list. That's still a good day, right? Well, it depends on the value added of the things you've actually accomplished in your list. Accomplished philosopher Vilfredo Pareto once said that highly effective people work on the vital few versus the trivial many. You would probably be more familiar with him through his work known as the Pareto Principle, or the 80-20 rule, that basically says 80% of the output is actually determined by 20% of the input. What does this mean? Let's say you have that 10-point list for the day. The Pareto Principle says that out of the 10-point list, only 2 items are so vital that they contribute to 80% of your goal of the day. The rest are merely trivial things that you can put off, set aside, or maybe even delegate. These 2 items alone would be enough to improve your performance, your productivity, your profitability, and your rewards. The key, therefore, is to pinpoint those 2 items and put them on the top of your priority list. Every time you make that list, you need to ask yourself, which one of these would best contribute to my goals? Which one is most valuable use for your limited time? Ask yourself, what's the impact of this task on my overall future? Next, you need to be able to practice single-mindedness. The ability to concentrate, focus, and give a particular task all your attention at any given time is a skill. Remember though, we're talking about focusing on a task that's considered important, valuable, and contributes to your overall goals. There's a big difference between accomplishing a trivial task and an important one. This is because finishing an important task invigorates you. It helps contribute to your overall self-esteem. It makes you feel good, motivated, and the emotional payoff is huge. Accomplishing small tasks, however, barely pings your happiness radar. Peter Drucker, an accomplished management consultant, once said, "The very worst thing in the world is to do very well what need not be done at all." The question now is, how do you decide which things deserve most of your attention? There's a method called ABCDE that helps you categorize activities based on their level of importance. There's A, which are things you must do, B are things you should do, and C are the things that would be nice to do. Of the 3, C takes the last priority, and are mainly connected to leisure, added efficiency, or just aesthetics. The D are the things you should delegate, and E are the ones you can completely eliminate from your list. Next, you want to put deadlines on yourself. It wouldn't be effective time management if you didn't give yourself a time period for accomplishing a task. Remind yourself of the deadline and promise others that you will have the task accomplished within a certain period. This forcing system compels you to follow that deadline and prevent the trap of procrastination. Finally, you need to give yourself consequences. Granting yourself a reward with the accomplishment of a task is a powerful motivator for actually finishing that task. It can be a coffee break, a cookie, a favorite movie. As long as it helps spark that pleasure, it will be an effective way of creating that connection between the action and the reward. This is Psychology Shark, your ultimate source for psychology tips, tricks, and hacks to help you achieve more in life. Please click the subscribe button to get notified for similar videos in the future.